Another big shot from the gutter. He was in a booth, schmoozing it up, but good some dolled-up floozy. Well, he forgot all about the floozy when he saw Opal. He knew class when he saw it, believe me. And when she saw him, oh boy, I could tell she'd made up her mind then and then that L'Oreal was for her. All that fancy schooling with all those top drawer people, and she breaks them focus off. The old lady shakes her head with the memory, lets out a sigh, then looks at me and smiles as if she just remembered that I'm here. Have some honey cake, Kento. It's from Weinstein's on Rivington Street. I don't want any cake. Look, you know why I'm here. Let's stick to business. Do you have any idea why Opal was on the bridge an hour before she was supposed to get married? No, I can't figure it at all. But Kento, I know she didn't jump. And I know it wasn't any accident. I know she was murdered. They told me. Who told you? The cops? No, the woman at the funeral parlor, the washer. One of the women who washes the dead and says the blessings. She called me up a little while ago before the cops showed up here. She called because she saw a hole on Opal's neck, where blood had come out. Opal was pretty banged up from her crash landing on my boat. She was bleeding all over the place, not just her neck. It could have happened from the crash. No, Captain, no. The woman, the washer, she knows her business. She knows what's what when it comes to preparing the dead for the grave. She knows the difference between bruises and stabs. Cantor, I tell you, Opal was murdered tonight. Mom brings the balled-up hanky back to her eyes, takes a few quick breaths to steady herself before she can talk again. I can't figure out why, but I'm sure the whole thing was a setup. I'm sure of it. You sound like sick, and it doesn't sound any better from your mouth than it did from his. But it's the truth. So you've got to do what we ask. You've got to find out what happened to my Opal. Who hurt her? Who killed her? Otherwise, who will be for my daughter, Kenta? The cops? You think they'll be for her just because they come here with their questions? No. No, they will not be. You must be for Opal, Kenta. Her tiny green eyes made their powerful demand behind their desperate pleading. But I don't see warmth for me in her eyes. I wonder now if I ever did. Or if I was just a lonely little tomboy all those years ago, picking up warmth wherever I'd imagined it should be. I've got to get this deal back on a steadier ground, where my feelings mean nothing. Just do the job so I can get Rosie back. Rosie. Rosie. My beautiful soldier. So I talked to Esther Scheinbaum now with the only truth that's always been ours. Outlaw to outlaw. That it's got to be a square deal, I said. You've got to do something for me, understand? You have some of the best contacts in the city. People high and low. Use those contacts to find out where Sig stashed a friend of mine. You mean the cabbie? You know about that? Sure. Sig called after you left his place. Said he'd given you an incentive to do our job. But don't ask me where he's got, I can't tell. He didn't tell me. He wouldn't, even if I asked. Sig keeps his plays to himself. My mind spins a daydream, a fantasy of being a little kid again with Esther Scheinbaum and Sig L'Oreal standing side by side in front of me. And I erased both with my brand new rubber eraser. I even smile a little. You know, I have friends at night in low places too, I say. Maybe not as many as you do, maybe not as high, but sooner or later, while I'm going through the motions of looking for Opal's killer. Someone I know, maybe someone who owes me a favor, will find Rosie. That's her name, Rosie Bliss. And finding Rosie, getting her back, is all I care about. I'll drop your problem like a hot potato. Let you make do with the cops. Let Sig get eaten alive by the vultures who surely come after their lovesick boss. Now a major player like you can get a line on where Sig's got Rosie a lot faster than I can. Are you getting the picture, Mom? After she blows her nose into the damp, wrinkled hanky, she looks at me straight, says, well, we taught you good growing up, Kento. Taught you when to make the good play. Okay, you just made the good play. So yeah, sure, you got yourself a deal. I'll make some calls. Some calls? All right, Kento, all right, I'll make a lot of calls. That's better. Okay, let's get things going. Sig thought you might have some ideas about where I should start, where to get some information about what happened on the bridge. The old woman's tough hide is pierced again by grief for her daughter. Tears flood her eyes, but she wills them back, takes a deep breath and speaks slowly, trying not to choke on every word. I hoped to have a little supper with Opal before Sig got home from prison. But Opal said that she had plans right up to the last minute that she'd be running around. At that hour? Since when does a bride go running around just before her wedding? Yeah, I thought that was Meshuggah too, running around on her wedding night. But she sounded so happy about whatever the hell she had planned. She said that I shouldn't worry. Just a bride's high spirits is what she called it. So you see, Kento, Opal was already away from the penthouse. If someone grabbed her, it was while she was running around. And that's it? That's all you have? And the name? Celeste. Celeste Copley. Opal talked about her, said they were good friends. That she and this Celeste sometimes took in a movie while Sig was away in prison. I think Opal might have been running around with this Copley woman tonight. Did you get in touch with this Copley and get her story? She's not in the book. I checked before the cops came. But I think Opal might have said something about an apartment somewhere on the west side. That's a lot of somewhere. It's the best I can do, Kento. I was going to call up one of my operatives to put a trace on this Copley when the cops showed up here. And I don't have time now anymore. I got a lot to do before I bury Opal. The funeral's in the morning. You'll have to trace the Copley woman yourself. Have that clever young man of yours handle it. He's good with these things. All right, I'll call him right now. I start for the phone in the hall. No, you gotta go now, Kento. I'm tired. And I got plenty of stuff to do before the morning. That's it then. I'm finished here. On my way out of the dining room, I start to turn around for a last look, but I change my mind. I just walk out. Halfway through the living room, I call over my shoulder, "Make those phone calls. Have something to tell me later, you understand?" I don't get an answer by the time I'm in the vestibule. Maybe I didn't hear her. Or maybe Mom didn't answer me at all. It doesn't matter anymore as I walk out the door.
eat something or drink something or purchase the book, I'll be down there at the ACA was kind enough to set up a little author's table. And before we forget, I must give incredible thanks to ACA Gallery for letting me have this event here. I foolishly neglected to mention them in my thank yous before introducing Barbara, but all my love and gratitude to ACA Galleries and the whole staff here for helping me put this together. Without them, this would not have happened. So enjoy the wine and the food and come see me over at the book table. I want to be first.